History with R&R welcomes you to a special live stream with special guests. The man with the ego the size of the Rocky Mountains, Chris Knight. One half of Tag Team Valkyrie, Purple Valkyrie. The god of mischief himself, Stone Loki. Grab your morning beverage of choice, sit back, relax, because history with R&R is live.
I love
Good morning.
I love it.
Good morning.
I love it. Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, great job.
In keeping with the topic of today's live stream, Здравствуйте, мои дураки.
What he said.
Yeah, bless you. Okay.
I can barely speak the Russian he puts in the scripts. Bloody hell.
Oh shit.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're gonna kind of have a chat with everybody. Loki, who's been in several of our radio shows, Purple Valkyrie, who graced us last time with Catherine II, and Samantha Joe, who will be on not this coming radio show, but the radio show after, where we get invaded by the Valkyries. Quite happily. And I know Doom has a whole bunch of pressure on him because he's worried about writing the script. So,
And there you did it again, buddy.
yeah, I know. I know. I buried the lead.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your you try so hard. It's Richard.
Yeah. I say Doom, yeah. That's okay. If I can get my name straight most days, I'm good.
The only reason I can remember mine is because it's written on my chest 40 hours a week.
Well, there's that.
Well, you know, I think you're forgetting someone.
Yeah.
It's not just me. Hello there. Yes. Peter,
Good morning, Peter.
And speaking of forgetting someone, we also have the man with the giant ego. Welcome, Chris Knight.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Doing good.
When I recommended this particular live stream, it was because I was so proud of the script for Catherine II. And I wanted to have a discussion about what it was like from our side, from your side, because, I am so proud of that one. Really proud of that one. So, and
I do believe, I think Richard will back me up on this. Purple and Chris and Loki bring it every time. And
awesome.
Purple, you blew us away with yours. I think me and Richard recorded ours about 7 times after that because our original one wasn't good enough. Something along those lines.
You've got the script to thank for that. Richard wrote her as such a badass. I was like, this is awesome. So I've got to do my best for this.
What was so funny about it was when Robert came to me and he goes, Purple Valkyrie is going to be Catherine. I'm like, well, that's cool. He goes, now she's working on it. No, this was 2 days after you got the script. He goes, she's working on her Russian accent, but it sounds German. I'm like, well, that's okay. Catherine was German anyway.
It was like, nailed it.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Germans were involved in a lot of the eastern side of Europe and in Russia and all of that for a very long time. And I looked up, whenever you guys ask me to do it, whenever you guys ask me to do any of this stuff, I look up all the information I can about the person. I see where they're from. I try to, I go and I like anything that's like, the name of a castle, like Orenivov. I look it up and I listen to how it's pronounced as best as I can. And then I think, okay, if I add an accent or something like German to it, is it rougher? And so then with German, for instance, it's, I think I talked to Robert. I think I talked to you about this. There's High German and Low German. Now it's backwards because Low German is actually South Germany, and Low German is actually North Germany, and Low German is actually a much rougher dialect. It's almost grunts and groans at times. So I looked up Peter and I found out, okay, he's from North Germany, so that's definitely Low German. And so, so I thought it would be very short, distinct, and to the point. He's no nonsense. Is kind of how I would have figured he would have been. So,
both you and Purple just nailed it and blew it out of the
water. When I listened to it, I was like, "Holy crap!" I said, "Oh man!" Holy crap!
And I think the one thing that Richard and I, and this is going to sound like we're blowing smoke, but this is serious. If somebody had recorded our backstage conversations, it was there was several of, "Are you kidding me?" Because both you and Purple both went, "Do you need me to re-record something?" And we're sitting there going, if they re-record, I give up.
What was so hilarious about it was Robert and I do a lot of discussions, not only through StreamYard, but through Discord. I mean, my private messages from Robert in Discord are probably 85,000 pages long.
Yeah.
And so he says, "I just got the audio back from Purple Valkyrie." I'm like, "Okay, so," and he sent me the second clip, and I heard it, and Robert can testify to this. I fell out of this chair.
Yeah. Yep.
I was, and it was so funny because as Robert and I were talking, I'm like, well, the four of you have an advantage that we don't in this. Our parts in these radio shows are as news reporters. So we have to be blah, 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 blah.
We have to sound like cardboard.
Yeah. But you guys, the real acting in these is from the cast that we get together. And we've had other people on the cast. We've had CCDV. Wait a minute.
Yep.
Actually, I think we killed him.
Yeah. No. He almost died.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we made him a coward. Remember? Titanic. Whoops.
We've had Captain Trek. We've had Jedi Bill. But when I was writing the script for Catherine II, I was going for more than I had ever tried before.
Yeah, tell me about it. Here's the script, buddy. Find 7 people to do voices.
You guys were talking about, the re-recording thing. I've done voice work in the past. I've got some stuff I've done recently that I've sent to people, and I always ask them. I'm like, here, because I think when you're doing voices, not actual acting, and in acting, it's just called a second take. But when you're doing voice recording, you do what you can. You do it the best you think. You listen to it yourself. You're like, okay, yeah, I think that's good. But you got to give it to, in your guys' case, the directors, the producers, and you got to say, hey, here's what I got. Is it what you want? Because I think there's a two-sided thing. There's my opinion of how I think maybe it should go, but that may not be where you guys want it to go. You may say, well, I don't like Peter sounding like you made him sound. Make him sound like some country guy. I mean, I'm not saying
right.
I don't know exactly what you guys want, so I will always ask.
Oh yeah, it was so like, because between you and Purple especially, we were just blown away because it was like, wow, okay. And I mean, I know Richard and I were talking earlier just how amazed and thankful we are
Yeah, I will. I am going to embarrass myself right here and right now. I am very humbled by the participation of those who have joined our cast to do this. Okay. I'm not. I will gladly admit that I do have a slight inferiority complex, and well, to have you guys do this just to give us your free time to do this, I am very humbled by it all. Okay, I'll go hide now.
I'm just very thankful that you asked, to be honest. It was an honor to get to take part. And I was so nervous to do the accents. I must have read the lines about a dozen times before I even recorded it.
Yeah, I would have. It showed. It really showed. And like I said, like I've said millions of times, Discord chats, private chats, everyone has blown us away. Just at the fact like that they're willing to do these voice parts for us. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, even on our regular channels, we're not big fish in a pond. We're like, afterthoughts. But in the grand scheme of things. But to have people willing in the community to join us and see our vision and help to make it a reality means so much to us, and we could never say thank you enough. And as we're trying to go, shameless plug time, as we're trying to get to 100 by Christmas, there's new shows on the horizon. We're still working out the details on a couple of them. We want to add more content to History with R&R. Rambling Canuck, my main channel, is slowly getting pushed off to the side because I'm kind of diving into this more. But it's something that Richard and I really, really enjoy doing. It's something that I have spent most of my adult life researching. I don't have a damn degree to my name, but sometimes I think that I know more than most of those idiots anyway. I'll argue with them anyway.
You're not wrong with that. A lot of people who are well versed in history do not have degrees.
That's true.
They go out and they find, they look, they dig. And I mean, I think when you become somebody who studies that in a college or something, you kind of get blind to the intricacies of it. It becomes here, this person did this on this day, It is just it just rambles on. Now, there are other people who do study it that are just whizzes, but I find the people who just enjoy it, and because they enjoy it, they dig into it. I find those people to be some of the most fascinating people to talk to about this stuff because of that. So I mean,
my thing with it is I find people who have the degrees have a bias.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like major bias, right? If it's not in the book, it didn't happen.
Well, here's all that matters. Not to toot my own horn here, but this is all that matters, and this is all you guys should be looking at. And that is History with R&R was produced, directed, and edited by Robert Murray. The script was written by Richard Simpson. That's all that fucking matters right there.
Yeah.
Robert Knowles, Richard Simpson. Period.
Here's what I'm going to say about these radio shows and how this came to be. Anybody who's watched my regular channel knows that I have dumped a lot of old time radio shows on to it. Yep. And there is a radio show that I listen to. It's called CBS Is There. That's the whole idea behind this. The CBS radio crew did these shows, the Discovery of America by Columbus, the Last Day of Pompeii. historic events. And I'm like, can I do this? And can I get Robert to pull his hair out while we do it?
Well, and see, I think going forward, we should kind of add hashtag CBS. We did it better. Just to piss them off.
Oh, wait a minute.
God knows they piss me off every freaking Thursday.
Does this mean there's another thing we do better than CBS?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
I am currently at work, so I will have to be getting off here. But I didn't.
No problem. Thank you for joining us this morning. And Chris Knight's channel, The Real Review 3000, is in the description below, as well as Rise and Shine with the Valkyries, and Stone Loki's channel, Mornings with Mischief, is in the description. Everything's in the description. So if you're not subscribed to anybody on this panel, please do so.
I say one thing really quick. I wanted to tell you guys I appreciate it so much you guys approaching me to do this. I love doing this stuff. I absolutely just eat this stuff up. And if you guys didn't know, those of you, I just let you know that you guys are my featured content creators of the week on my channel, and all my live streams. I'll make sure I swing over to your to History with R&R, the YouTube channel, show it to everybody. Point them down to the description box, let them know that Loki, Doom, and Robert, all your links are down there in there with History with R&R. So, guys, thank you very much. I really do appreciate this. And I know we got a project up, and I look forward to that one too and anything thereafter. So thank you very much. Purple, it's good talking with you.
You too.
Samantha, Loki, guys, everybody in the chat, thank you very much. You guys have a great day, okay? And everybody be safe.
Chris, you ever want on Mornings of Mischief, you're always welcome, brother. Just send me a DM. Let me know. You're on.
Well, I will do that. Mondays are my good days to do that, so I will probably try next Monday, okay?
Awesome, brother.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
Thanks again,
Bye,
Chris.
Chris.
All right. So Loki gets to be a split personality in the radio show. How's that for you?
Before we go there, okay?
Uh-huh.
I just want to mention that there are 4 people who have been in every one of our radio shows. Obviously, the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Jeff Strickland, who is at work right now,
Yes. Otherwise, he'd be on this panel.
and Loki.
Yes.
You've been there from the beginning, sir. What
What are your thoughts on our crazy scripts and crazy ideas?
As soon as you guys came to me and you were like, listen, we don't want to step on your toes with the Dega. And I was like, what do you mean step on my toes with the Dega? Canuck's like, well, we're going to be, me and Admiral are going to be doing a history show. And I was like, dude, do it. Do it. Light the fire under that shit and do it. And well, can we, you got that thing you do with the Peter Wayland, and would you mind doing like a credit? Oh no, hell yeah, I'd love to. It's fun. The only time I haven't been Peter was this. I had a small role in this one with Catherine, and then you guys. It was what, Veterans Day? Was it Remembrance Day? It was your
Remembrance Day. Yeah.
And you said play it straight, and I was like, yeah, no problem. I love doing it. I'm honored that you guys included me in this. I'm thankful that you guys. It's fun. It's fun. Every week, Canuck sends me a script. He's like, "Can you have it done by Friday?" And usually on Saturday, I'm like, "It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Coming your way."
Usually, yeah.
What was funny is when we were putting together the very first radio show, I was writing this. Robert and I were just talking, and I'm talking to him here. I'm writing the script on this monitor, and I'm just typing away. And we were discussing who we were going to get. That was the attack on Pearl Harbor. Was that the
Yeah.
first?
Yeah. Pearl Harbor was the first one.
We knew we wanted to put Jeff Franklin into a near-death situation. That was it. It started there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, who are we going to get for these parts? And I said, who are we going to get to do the credits? Because I want the credits. On old time radio, the credits are important because there's no faces. And I'm still typing, and then all of a sudden Robert goes, Loki. And I stopped typing and I looked at the camera and I went, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for Catherine II. Okay. And I keep saying it. That's my proudest script because that's the one I wanted to put so much into. And I'm like, well, who are we going to get to play Catherine? And without missing a beat, he goes, wait a minute, let me talk to Purple.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then the next message I get across Discord is Purple's going to do it. I'm like, yes.
And then I think a 6-page script went to 9 or something like that. I don't know. Something along those lines. Timeline might be a little off, but something like that.
Yeah, and that script was longer than our normal ones, but there was so much I wanted to say in it.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's fun to hear these things when we put them together because I do my parts. There's no blooper reel when I send them to Robert. Boy, there should be.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think anybody wants to hear us say fuck 400 times in one show.
We're gonna put a blooper reel together of all of our radio, of all the stuff we've done over the past.
I thought we buried those.
It's going to be an hour and a half of fuck.
Yeah. About that.
It's going to be our longest video, and it's only going to have one word repeated.
Yeah, or I hate Russian from me.
Hey, that's not easy, guys. I know. For 3 years, I wrote, directed a RP for Star Trek. It was every Sunday. Didn't miss one without a beat. And I was working full time. That's hard as shit to do. To write out a script and make sure it's written on a weekly basis and not miss a beat. That is not easy. So props to you guys. It's a hard thing to do. Not just to come up with a concept of what are we going to cover? What are we going to talk about? How are we going to talk about it? But then sit down and write out a script for everybody. I have the easiest time. I do, because I just flip into Peter and I read, and it's just that out, history with eyes brought to you by Robert Knowles and Richard Simpson. That's my part each and every day. That's easy. Doing a production and getting okay. Well, can you sound like this? And can you have this type of accent? Can you talk like this? Is this going to be too much? It's especially when you're getting other people involved, rounding up, not just writing the script, but rounding everybody up and getting it in on time. That's a bitch. And I know it can't be easy when, Saturday rolls around. Yeah, Loki hasn't. I'm like, damn.
I may or may not have been cursing you Saturday morning.
That son of a bitch. It's coming.
Okay. I know you had to have heard it because I heard it here in Indianapolis and he's in Winnipeg.
You woke up sounding like Raphael on Ninja Turtle movie. Damn! Hashtag.
And it's fun because I'm driving myself nuts putting these scripts together, but as soon as I like the script that's come for Tuesday's show.
Yes.
Robert hit me up in StreamYard the other day and he goes, I said, this script is not working. It's just, this sucks. And because being a historian, I try to fit the history around
because what we're trying to do is it's historical, but lighter side.
Right.
But still, you don't want somebody to go, well, that never happened.
Right. And trying to fit a 1 month event into 10 minutes and make it sound semi-coherent.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here. You probably all could hear me hitting my head against the desk.
we got it.
One day you're just gonna lose it, and they'll be, you'll send out the script, and you'll have AT and Capo saying, "Wait! General MacArthur embraces his private. What in the hell is this?" And Doom's just sitting there.
No, there's a funny story about that whole AT and
Oh yeah, when we
Right.
killed off AT. But I before we get there, I wanna get to. Did you know that technically Purple was in the very first radio show?
Huh?
Was I?
Yeah, because Loki sent me the credits, and Peter Whalen was warming up. Well, I was a jackass and added the warm up.
yes, he did.
So we had Whalen asking Purple for his spotted dick in the middle of the exit.
Yeah.
Because I was a jackass and took the warm up and threw it in there anyway.
Oh man, I remember that now. Yes. I have to warm up. I have to get the voice ready. Yeah.
The funny story behind the whole AT and Bird thing was we were sitting here and we're going, okay, who do we get to be the last soldier killed in World War I? And Robert says, well, maybe I can get AT to do it. Okay, well, that sounds cool. And then I'm like, wait a minute, let's have Bird be his commander.
Yeah.
Him over the top.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it was Robert sent Bird his one line in that script and sent AT his one line in that script. So there was no way of knowing what was
Yeah.
they had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah. They didn't know that Bird didn't know he was killing AT, and AT didn't know that Bird was killing him until the show came out.
So you said you had fun with this, Purple. What am I trying to ask here? Wow.
I tried to stay out of your head.
My name is Richard. My favorite color is clear. It goes back to my old voicemail message that happens to be the name of my show. Thank you for calling Short Attention Span Theater. This is damn.
Oh shit. Yeah. But what I think what you were trying to ask was, what did she enjoy most about doing it?
I enjoyed the way that she was written because you wrote her as such a badass. I wanted to nail that role as best as I could. And I knew, obviously from reading about her, she was very no nonsense. She was very kind of, it's my way or the highway. So I tried to kind of channel that into it as well, whilst doing a really bad, vaguely Russian accent. Because Catherine's very, how I can't even remember how I did it now. She's, it's almost, with Russian, you kind of cut off the sentences as you speak.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, she wasn't Russian herself, but she adopted the language and learnt it. So she became fluent in it, but she was Prussian. So,
Yeah.
So I was kind of dancing around that.
Yeah. A little bit of an identity crisis.
I can say this much. Your accent in the next one's going to be easier.
Oh, yeah.
True. That's very true.
Before we get there, the next one that Richard was pointing out that, almost drove him crazy because it was my idea. Ha! So
Nook was returning the favor.
Yeah, will be Loki as Churchill and Chris
Nice.
Knight as FDR.
We will not go silently into that dark night.
Oh, there goes my stream copyright claim.
You know-
Those Churchill buggers are bastards. They won't let you do nothing.
This is where I mentioned that. Yeah, this is your channel, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. But yeah, so that the next one will be fun, and I'll give you a little hint, Loki. We gave you the final word on FDR.
Oh, yeah.
We even let you
Bloody
stick it
Mac.
to FDR a little bit, you know.
Yes.
And then, of course, Jeff Franklin's last line. It has to be.
Oh yeah,
every
perfect. See, and that's something I wish Jeff was here, because that is something that took on a whole epic of itself. Because the first one, we did it just so that people would know we didn't kill him when something exploded near him. So we did it just so that people would know that he was still alive.
And I can still
And-
remember that line.
Yeah,
This thing on.
yeah, this thing on. So that took on. So after that, it became a staple that after the credits, Jeff has a final line in every single one of them. And then it was funny because we bugged Mr. CCTV, because in the scene where Jeff gets blown up, he's with Mr. CCTV. But all the people in the comments only gave a damn that we killed Jeff, not that we killed Mr. CCTV. It was like, how dare you kill Jeff? We didn't kill Jeff. But nobody mentioned Mr. CCTV. It was just like, oh, how rude. Yeah. And then Darth Revan, well, he's at the bottom of the Atlantic till we decide to pull him back.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But and I'm glad you're here with us, Samantha Joe, so you know the kind of things that we that you're getting yourself into
Oh.
here.
Yeah.
And beforehand, we do owe Samantha Joe an apology in advance.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it's because that the radio show that the Valkyries are going to do
Yeah.
is Queen Elizabeth I
Yeah.
and Queen Mary, Queen of Scots.
Scots.
Now, unfortunately,
Okay, no, let me
Elizabeth may or may not have had Queen Mary, Queen of Scots head chopped off, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
Okay, I was going to put it this way. The name of the script is History with R&R radio show, The Death of Queen Mary.
Yeah. So
okay.
we sorry, but yeah. It's how history went, damn it.
We're just gonna mention this ahead of time. So how do I put it dead?
I'll do it, but I'll do it with love. It's okay.
Well, and the best part about that is, if you go back into history, Elizabeth didn't want to do it,
Yeah.
Right.
I was just reading that actually.
right? Elizabeth did not want to do it, but her hand was forced,
Mm-hmm.
and she had no choice.
And
But she didn't want to do it because she kept Mary in the tower for years
Yeah.
because she loved her too much to do what was necessary, what she
Yep.
should have done in the first place. It wasn't until it became a point where she had to
Mm-hmm.
that it was finally okay, fine. But even at the time, Elizabeth was kind of never forgave herself that she had to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I thought it was perfect to have the Valkyries play that part. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't
Me
wait.
too.
and I will say this much here. As much as I love writing these scripts, I don't expect people to do them verbatim. If something doesn't seem, if you want to ad lib a little, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, he's learned from me that I don't follow scripts well. Wait a second, that wasn't in the script I sent you. Shh, don't tell anybody. That's how it made sense in my head. That's how it came out. So I don't follow.
I
script very
give
well.
rough ideas of where I want things to go. But I think actually the only three people who've done that script is exactly as written is Loki, Valkyrie, and Chris Knight.
Yeah, which he's going to break the tradition because he's changing up a couple of lines. I got the message yesterday.
Okay.
And he's like, "Do you mind?" And I'm like, "Go for it. I do it all the time."
And what's hilarious about it all is that, I do work a full-time job. I'm writing scripts for History with R&R on the other show. The radio show was my idea.
Mhm.
It took
That's
me
your fault.
It took me 2 weeks to convince Robert that we needed to do these. But I do it because I enjoy it.
Yeah. And my biggest fear when Richard first brought the radio show to me was my computer is an i5, and the best editor I've got is VSDC, which is very, very basic. It's not like Filmora 9 where you can just throw in a whole bunch of gadgets and make things look really, really, really smooth cinematically. And for me, it was because at the end of the day, Richard writes it, and then I got to make the shit look good. Everybody else makes it sound good. I got to make it look good. So for me, it was more convincing myself that I could that I could edit it, that I could bring it together and not make it so that people would be like, "Oh, why did I participate in that again?" And I knew that Richard could write the script, but my biggest thing was, could I edit it and could I put it together so that it was something that that people would be happy and proud that they were in. And it was more convincing myself that, I could do this. So that's why I've changed things up every radio show. I keep trying to add different things. And I like the Star Wars crawl at the end.
That was cool. I love those credits.
Yeah.
It's kind of been the trademark, Waylon's voice over a Star Wars crawl just seems to fit. And then because Loki's making me watch Star Trek Discovery, I lit the crawl on fire last with him. And what people don't really realize is, I was talking to a couple other people that do YouTube, and they mainly do the live streams where it's just click the button and go. And what they don't realize is, for the radio show, on a standard radio show, Catherine was an exception. But for a standard radio show, it's a solid 10 hours of me being at this computer. And that's not including networking or anything like that to see, hey, do you want to do the part? Mm-hmm. That's me editing the audio so that it runs smooth, making sure that it's roughly the same volume, so you don't have somebody way up here and somebody way down here. We've had a few of those, but
we're getting better at that.
And it's just creating the intros, creating the outros take an hour. So I got to change each one of them individually, and that's the part that some people don't see. Is that it's a good example would be Stalin. Stalin, the part 3, was 9 minutes of audio.
Well, yeah, but it took us 20 minutes to record it.
20 minutes to record it, 2 hours to edit it. So
we do have 11 minutes of F-bombs.
Oh, yes. Well, no. To be fair, Richard, we have 6 minutes of F-bombs from me and about 5 minutes of, oh, damn it. Okay, and then you go into the next line. So yeah.
But part of the idea of this was to get the feedback from the cast, because
Yes.
I love the fact that Loki and Valkyrie and Samantha Joe and the Queens, we're calling it the Queens.
Yeah, the Queen's show. Yeah.
Uh,
We don't matter. It's the Queen's show. It's Valkyrie's show. It's not our show. It's Valkyrie's show. We're just kind of there. It's like a Christmas tree. There's lights on it. There's pretty decorations, but nobody gives a shit unless the angel looks good. Yeah. You've got a tree that's got beautiful lights and beautiful, ornaments on it, and the angel, it looks like she's just came out of an all-nighter. This isn't a good thing. Okay.
But yeah, I felt the need to share with the world not only the back side of it, but the cast and what they thought, and there's more to it than, hey, can you do this for me?
Yeah. And then the shock that when the yes comes through, because we are still genuinely shocked every time Loki says, yeah, no problem, or Purple says, yeah, no problem, I'll be happy to. And it's just so awesome and humbling to us, because it's like, oh, they like our shit. And that's the realization that it takes, and we're still getting there. We're not there 100%, but we're getting there. But
and to me, I'm the baby of the group. Let's just put it that way. I've been on YouTube what now, 6 months total,
something like that.
Okay, and it's just, wow, I've got people who've been doing this much longer than me, and they're willing to join me in this.
Yeah. And for me, it's really cool, because I think it's a fun way for everyone to be able to kind of step out of their norms and just have fun.
Yes, that's what I found with the character. When she said just kind of go for it, I was like,
yeah,
all right, I'll
Just
try
run.
something I haven't tried
Go with it.
before. And
Yeah.
I was just so happy that you guys liked it. I was like, oh my god, thank you.
I was absolutely floored, and I have one of the things that I've tried to harp on with Robert is that I have the capability of archiving all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes, I remember this conversation.
so if YouTube should crash and burn, I still have Purple Valkyrie as Catherine II on a drive on the other side of that wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe there were body parts threatened if I didn't send a copy of that when it was done. Because I have this bad habit of, because my computer is not it doesn't have a lot of space. So when I get done with a radio show or something like that, most of that's gone. It gets removed off my hard drive real quick, or else I'd have a full computer by now. So I've got to, get the job done, get it put on YouTube, and then clear it out so I can get the next one done. I have a bad habit of forgetting to send Doom the edited copy. I have this bad habit of just, I forget.
I asked for the parts individually. I asked for the parts individually on the Catherine II. He goes, damn it, I just deleted those.
Yeah. That file no longer exists. We're on to Churchill and FDR. What are you talking about? That's done. I'm moving on. I got other folders and files to look at now. Jeez.
Keep your shows, gentlemen. I've been at this a year. I have every show I've ever done saved.
Yes.
Keep your shows.
I keep ours as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Samantha Joe, now that you've
Yes.
heard what you're getting into,
Yeah. Yeah.
No pressure. None
Yeah, no
whatsoever.
pressure. Yeah. You're
None
a Valkyrie.
whatsoever.
You can do it. No problem.
I can handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
If Sammy's up for it, I'd love to kind of try and do it. I know we do the lines individually, but if we could play off each other and do a take
Oh, yeah.
that way,
Any-
that might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
what was really fun was, I know that Purple and Loki were on two different sides of the world, but when Robert edited it together, when you guys were playing off of each other in the script, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, and you point out a good point. So I'm sitting there, and we're at Wednesday, I think, of that week, the week before the radio show is supposed to drop. And I'm sitting there, and I've gotten parts for everybody, for most of the blanks I've got on my script. And I'm like, okay, so all I've got left is this guy. Who do I get to play this? And then I'm like, okay, so what is this guy? He's Catherine's right-hand man. Okay, so we're going to Loki. I'm like, Loki, I know you've already got like 3 parts in this, but how about another one?
Anything for you guys. Anything I can do to help out. I'm honored just to be a part of it.
Same. What you guys have made
Thank you.
is something special. You should be really proud of it. We love this show. We really do.
Mhm.
it's fun. It's fun. Okay, except for this last script, it's fun to write.
Yeah. Well, that's because it was one of my brainchilds, and yeah.
Oh, it was so funny when I came up with the idea. We were sitting there going, oh, what are we going to do in next radio show? What are we going to do radio show on? And I'm like, and I had just watched a video on Catherine the Great. I'm like, how about this? And Robert went, are you sure you can do that? No, but I'll try it anyway.
Yeah.
Can I let you guys in on a funny secret? When I was
Sure.
trying to figure out the accents, I went looking, because obviously there's been several films about Catherine, and not one of them did the accent that I was looking for. I mean, even Helen Mirren just had an English accent. I was like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah,
Help me out here.
didn't Helen Mirren play that part once?
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. I mean,
Purple did it better.
I've watched one in Russian, and Catherine has a Russian accent. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
How does that work? But when I came up with this idea, he's like, well, who are we going to get to do this? Because we had up to this point, we'd never discussed a female part on the show.
Yeah.
So we're
very non-progressive of us.
well, no, it's just because of the way that it was, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the sinking of the Titanic, we got Revan because he was Irish, and well, the enginemen were Irish, so
Yeah.
it fit. But,
Same with we had Mountains of Elysium because he was at the docks.
right. But then we needed I'm writing a female-centric script. It's going to be worse the next time because it's going to be 2.
Yeah.
It's either that was Loki. How good are you at doing the lady accent?
Nope.
Nope. That would be a no.
I you know what? I don't think he can get his voice that high. Just saying.
Well, maybe maybe before he watches Star Trek Discovery, he needs to stub his toe so that he can have the right temperament. For when he opens that show up. Actually, the stubbing the toe might be more enjoyable. But anyway, I digress. But I'm gonna wrap this up because I know Richard needs to sleep.
I'm fine.
You're good.
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. I know you normally like to keep it an hour because I know you need your
I'll
beauty
sleep
sleep.
when I'm dead.
Yeah.
The like I said, when I pitched this idea to Robert, what was it, Saturday? Because here's how it normally goes behind the scenes. Robert and I get on the StreamYard and go, okay, this is what we got. This is what we got. Now, he hit me up a week and a half ago. What's our next live stream going to be? I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Then he hit me up Tuesday of last week. What's our next live stream going to be? I'm like, I'll get back to you. Saturday, he goes, the live stream is Tuesday, right? I'm like, I got an idea.
Well, and then the best part about that is he tells me the idea, and I'm like, okay, I will, I'll reach out. I'll see what we can do. I says, but, and then Doom goes, well, you know what Monday is? I goes,
oh my God, yes.
And he goes, well, it's the 7th. And I'm like, so I guess we've got another live stream Monday morning. So yeah, that got planned Saturday. Yay! At about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And we're discussing it right before the short attention span theater. We're going, and I had completely forgotten about Monday's live stream.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm watching Chris Knight's channel, and then all of a sudden I hear this. Well, the short attention span theater is going to be cut short because we're going to go, 6:30, and he always talks about Central Time Zone. He goes, it's going to be 6:30 that Doom and I are going to be doing a Pearl Harbor stream, and I went, what?
When did I agree to this? Yeah.
And that's anybody who thinks there's any plan going on in this, you're mistaken.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you kind of have scenarios and scripts planned out in advance, or do you just kind of pick?
Well, technically, we have the ideas for the Friday show pretty well planned out till probably February.
Cool.
Because we finish off Stalin in December. January will probably be, we're probably going to end up having to do 4 or 5 shows on Churchill. Because Churchill's the next person we tackle. And then, but Stalin's still got at least 2 to 3 more.
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys asked, I don't know how well you will be able to hear this, but give me just 1 second.
History with Anna is brought to you by Robert Knowles and Richard Stevens. This is Fem Loki. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, God.
There you go.
Oh boy!
Oh my God.
If we ever get monetized, I think I just have a super chat. I'm just saying. Yeah.
To answer your question, Purple, how it usually goes down is we're putting together the radio show. It goes up on Tuesday. He hits me up on Thursday. He goes, you're going to have a script for me on Monday? About. Let's discuss that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we'd already planned on the only reason we went to Catherine II was because I could not. We were going to do the FDR and Roosevelt script.
Yes.
It's one of those scripts that I was just not feeling at all.
Yeah, because the problem with the FDR script is FDR and Churchill, because there's a certain point in history that I wanted this to circle around. I could have made it easy on Doom, Richard, but I'm an a-hole, so I wasn't. We could have went to, when the big three met or something, but we're doing the Cairo meeting. And you don't even get the Cairo meeting in the show. And there's a reason for that. There was a certain accidental oopsie that happened while FDR was en route to Cairo that at the time was definitely not published in your local paper.
Right.
Which is basically the United States Navy almost blew up the president. Slight oops.
We're discussing this Churchill and Roosevelt script, and I'm like, I got an idea. What do we do, Catherine II and the rise of power? And he goes, okay. But he had his heart set on the Roosevelt script, and I'm like, I'll get to that. Trust me on this.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Meanwhile, before I even started writing the script for the FDR Churchill thing, he goes, what about the death of Queen Mary of Scots? I'm like, okay. And usually what'll happen is the radio show will go up on Tuesday. On Wednesday or Thursday, we'll talk about, and he'll go, you're going to have a script for me for the radio show. I need it in a week. I'm like, okay, what are we doing? And we stare at each other for half an hour.
Yeah, pretty much. Or at that point, we get the Richard's famous line. Well, I'll be right back, buddy. I'm going for a smoke.
Yeah, and that's how this has worked. Seat of the pants operation. This is it.
Yeah. I mean, like the Friday shows are the most planned.
Right.
I think we've got those planned out on paper until summertime.
Right.
But because those started with we started with
Vimy Ridge.
Vimy Ridge.
And then
we went to the Second Battle of the Somme because we went Canadian, then United States. And then we went Mussolini.
Yep.
Stalin, Churchill, and then I'm blanking on who's next, but I know you've got it written down somewhere. Yeah. He's got it somewhere. He'll find it eventually. We don't need it for a couple of months.
Get right on that.
But those are the most planned out. The radio shows are a little bit more flexible because we like to tie at least one of them into either a live stream or what we're doing on the Friday. So the reason that the Catherine the Great worked so well is because we were doing Stalin. So without having to double dip and do 2 Stalin episodes, you took something from Russian history and put it in the radio show. It's just like one of our first live streams was on the Titanic and the Olympic and the Britannic, and then we did the Titanic radio show where we had Jeff on the Titanic and it went down. Oops. Oh yeah, Jeff ends up like in the weirdest spots. He's been sunk on the Titanic.
No, he was floating around on piano lid.
Yeah, he was floating on we gave him a piano lid. Come on, we were nice. We gave him a piano lid. A bomb accidentally landed near him at the Pearl Harbor thing. He was good. Just had to dust off some dirt. Yeah.
Jeff's got more lives than a cat.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
My
the
favorite-
last couple of ones he's been okay.
My favorite was one of the episodes. He goes, "Wow, 2 weeks without a near death experience. The writers must be slipping."
Yeah, that was his final line in that one. He didn't get a near death experience in the World War one, the end of World War One.
Nope.
Because we killed off Anti-Tricker. So Anti-Tricker had that covered. But yeah, it's been fun because Friday is very dry, right? It's nothing in Friday's show will be lighthearted because it's the facts, period. Right? It's what happened, and very to the point with that whatever topic we're talking about. With Stalin, we're trying to be very, this is what he actually did, this is what he made people believe he did, right? And try to piece it together so that it's actually factual the best we can. Whereas the radio show, we want it to be historically accurate, but we can have a little bit more fun with it.
And it helps that we got people who like you, Purple, who are looking at the script going, "Well, this is good. How am I going to do this?"
Yeah.
I love
Because
it.
I guarantee you, we had the same conversation, except it was, well, that's a good idea, but how the fuck do we do it?
No, I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite line that you guys wrote was, I don't know, if you put it up, where she says, "So you see, I have the support of the people. Peter does not. This is what the people want, and as the new ruler of Russia, I will give the people what they want."
Yes.
I love that line.
Yeah.
That was so good. I was like, yes.
Bravo.
Yes, and you nailed that line. And then, okay, Richard, Doom, bloody hell, shoot me now. Richard, there's a part of that script that we swore about right up until I finally went, F it, and this is going to have to do.
Oh, yes.
Richard decided to put two parts in that script that only one of them made it to the final cut.
And even that was really
That was brutal. And that was, he had chanting, which was right before the line that Purple just read.
right.
And then there was one point before that. So because Richard loves to make my hair go gray, he decides, instead of having the crowd just chant Catherine, he decides to have them chanted in Russian. So I'm going, well, fuck, I barely can pronounce the lines I've got, dude. This is on you. So you record the darn thing. So that was right up until we were pretty much ready for it to go live. And it was about 2 a.m. and I'm looking at this and I'm listening to what we've got. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. So me at 2 a.m. spent the next half an hour trying to re-record, and Richard's off at work, so I can't pull him in. And I'm adding background noise. It's not sounding right. And then even the final cut that we ended up having in the script, it still didn't sound right. I sounded like a complete goober. And it was the worst line I delivered at that whole show. But it was like, so there's little spots like that where sometimes we come up with an idea, or Richard writes himself into a corner, and the amount of swearing that takes place.
Yes. Except it's Yekaterina, because it's a yeah instead of an a. But yeah, the chant, the whole point of that particular one was when you said that when Catherine said that, okay, you don't think I can be the ruler? Tell them that.
Mhm.
Well, the troops and the Russian people were outside the Winter Palace yelling for their new ruler, new empress. And it was just, I tried to get that in there and we just could not make it work.
Yeah. And then even in the final thing, I went, well, it sucks, but it's there.
But it was one of those things that I wanted in there because it was accurate, and it just, oh wow.
Yeah, and I believe Richard's line was, well, I wrote myself into a corner there, didn't I? I didn't think this through.
Where can we get 6 people right now yelling Yekaterina?
Yeah.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck.
And of course, Robert's going, I can't pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to know is, where did the name Catherine come from? Catherine, when she converted to Russian Orthodox and started learning Russian, she picked the name Catherine. Sophie is not a Russian. I don't even think there's a transliteration for Sophie in Russian. So she chose Catherine, which also happened to be Peter the Great's wife's name. So there was historic value behind her picking that name. Besides that, I don't know that Sophie the Great just sounds all that great.
No,
No, it really
carry
doesn't.
the same.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? No.
Well, it's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is royals, when they assume the throne, even today, just because, like, when Queen Elizabeth II took the throne, first question asked to Queen Elizabeth was, "What name will you go by?" Which, of course, she went, my own. What the hell? But Charles could technically go as King Arthur. He could go as whatever he wanted when he takes the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Doesn't happen. But anyway, that's just my
also
opinion.
keep in mind that Peter III, his given name was Carl.
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Morning, Carl.
See, and the best part about it is Richard, you might want to see in the radio show at the end, Purple or Catherine agrees that he can go into exile. You mind enlightening the folks why Jeff's line at the end of that show was kind of
Okay. Jeff's line at the end of the show is, yeah, exile in Prussia. Like, that's going to happen. Peter lived, I believe, 8 days after he was deposed. His official cause of death was extreme hemorrhoids.
yeah.
Ooh.
And there are rumors as to that having been encouraged with very large devices, but
Yeah. He may have had an impaling moment.
yes,
Just saying.
Oh.
Gosh.
Yeah. By Catherine's lover at the time. But you know, it's just may or may not have happened.
but that's why that line was at the end of that episode.
Yeah. Peter ended up dead. He didn't get to walk away in the sunset, as it were.
Oh no. Catherine was ruthless.
Wow.
Even though you wrote into the script where she said I'll grant him his wish. He can live out the rest of his life in the country that he loves.
Yeah, and
No.
she did. Other people took it. Okay, there are some rumors that she had something to do with it, but
Those cannot be confirmed or denied.
Right. But the official story was that some of the other nobles took it upon themselves to remedy the situation.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask Samantha Joe, are you, now that we've described the complete and utter chaos that goes on our end,
Yeah. Welcome to the Gong Show. I mean,
Oh, fantastic.
yes.
you can ask Purple what her experience was with this. You can ask Loki what his experience is with this. I'm grateful that you're going to join us. It's, another thing we were thinking about coming up with is another episode with Elizabeth I and the Spanish Armada.
Oh, wow.
When the ships decided to go sinky sink,
Oh,
God interfered and went, "Fuck that."
Because I really want to write that most famous of Elizabeth I's speeches
oh,
show.
that
About-
would be amazing.
about her being a woman, but I have the heart of a man.
Yeah. Because nobles were being dicks as usual.
But I want to write that. I mean, we're coming up with ideas, and it's just,
Yeah, we have more ideas than I think we're gonna end up being able to do. Or I thought my kids gave me gray hair. I think the show is gonna cause me to have even more.
Helen of Troy.
Ooh,
Do that one.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean,
like, you're signing me up for that one, right?
no, I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat right here. James Andrew Morrison. I think Purple Valkyrie would make a great Helen of Troy.
Troy.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
See, you're getting volunteered already, Barbara.
I would gladly take any part that you guys would let me have because I had so much fun this time. It was a blast, honestly.
If I could make a suggestion,
Okay.
I know the perfect voice actor that could play the disgruntled dictator she escapes from. Just saying.
You have a thought, do you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're on the same page on that one. I think we can
Put a pin in that one. Yeah.
Bird of Prey, right? Okay.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I heard dictator. Sorry.
Yeah, you see me backing up on the chair, things are not going well. But having heard all of this, Samantha Joe,
Yes, sir.
does this sound fun to you?
I'm nervous as hell to do it, but I'm really looking forward to it.
The
I
beauty
really
of-
am because it should be a lot of fun. I've done a lot of research into the history of the Tudor England and Elizabeth I, and Mary Queen of Scots. So this is going to be fun.
The only thing I can't get because she spent 18 years in the Tower is, when her lover blew her husband up and then she married him.
Well, I guess that's one way to propose. Oh, you don't like him? Boom. How about now?
Is that going to be a part for Jeff to play? Or?
Right?
Yeah, there we go. Oh boy, yeah, poor Jeff. He always gets the
We don't kill Jeff. We make it
Yeah.
funny with him.
yeah. We don't kill Jeff. We need Jeff around.
And what's funny is when we do that, somebody will comment on the video, "Why'd you kill Jeff?" And then they hear the end of the episode. You didn't kill Jeff. No, we didn't.
And at first they were complaining that we killed Jeff. Now they're complaining we're not putting him enough into near-death experiences. So we're not nearly killing him enough. So in the next one, he nearly gets killed. Just ask and thou shalt receive. I believe that's from a certain morning show.
And again, I really appreciate the I love writing these things, but I love hearing what the voice actors do with what I've given them. Okay. There are three of us who have very static, very vanilla parts. Those are
speaking of static. I hate adding static to damn.
No, I'm just talking about your part, my part, Jeff's part.
I know.
We're just we're always going to have to be the same because we are news reporters. That's our part. But hearing Valkyrie and Loki and Bird of Prey and Captain Trek, the Ascension of Truman script.
Oh yeah. There's a funny story in itself. So we were doing what was that one now?
FDR.
Yeah, Death of FDR. So I'm sitting there and it's Saturday night, and Truman in that script had one line.
Somebody forgot to write him in the credits.
Yeah, somebody. So I'm sitting there and I'm going through the checklist on the Saturday night as I've got all the audio and I've got it, I'm starting to put it into place. And I'm going, okay, so there's Jeff, there's Richard, there's this person, Truman. And then me and Truman. I don't have a fucking Truman. And it's a Saturday. The show has to be out on a Tuesday. I'm like, Truman. I don't have a fucking Truman. What the hell?
But there are a lot of when I write these things, the one thing that I missed in the Catherine the Great script is that every script up to this point had a Star Trek reference.
Oh yes.
Mr. CCDV played in the Pearl Harbor episode. He played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed.
Mm-hmm.
We had an Admiral Ross in one of them. I forget the other one. And I'm like, I forgot to put it. Damn it. Can we get Loki to say, instead of just General, just say General Chekhov?
Yeah. So he's saying this to me Friday night. Okay. And Loki was supposed to have it to me Friday morning. And I'm like, well, I think he's already recorded it. He just hasn't sent it to me. So I don't want to have to trouble him and get him to re-record last minute. So we're going to have to let that one slide. But yeah, so, but, and it was, O'Brien, Chief O'Brien.
Yes. And I, not only the Star Trek references, but I also put in little inside jokes, like in the Truman script.
Oh, yeah.
He got Captain Trek to play one of the house staffers who says, now we have to listen to that rube from Missouri.
Yeah. Captain Trek's from Missouri.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never would have guessed it. So it was kind of funny.
But it's those little things that I add to the scripts that are, we'll go over some people's heads, but
Yeah, it's an inside baseball.
Yeah.
It's just like the end of World War I. As a general rule, that one had to be very, by the numbers. You can't make light of anything because, that's the end of World War I. That, almost over a million people died on both sides. You really come across as a dick if you start making jokes about it, especially on or near Remembrance Day. So we couldn't make anything in it really all that humorous. So what we did was the inside baseball, where we had Bird kill Anti-Trekker. So that if you knew who the two were, you got the joke. If you didn't, you didn't notice it.
But I'm doing little things like that because I don't. When I record my parts, I send them one piece at a time to Robert.
Yeah,
I don't know how the cast is looking at the script. I get feedback from Robert. Great script. Or actually, he goes, I sent him the Churchill script this morning or last night.
Yeah.
And I said, well, here it is. Tell me what you think. Oh, I've sent it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's out already. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I go and add in the names of the people and send it out. It's out already.
And part of the reason I wanted to do this kind of live stream is, Loki, you've read every one of those scripts.
Yep.
And I wanted to hear what I get the feedback from Robert and Jeff all the time, but I don't get to talk to you or Purple or Trek or Bird about what their opinions of these scripts are.
You guys are doing a great job. The scripts are quality. The interaction is interesting. I wouldn't still be doing the outro and changing it. I'd be like, well, just cut it, Canuck. I'm busy. If I didn't want to do this, if I wasn't enjoying doing this, I wouldn't still be doing it. And I think the effort and the work you guys are putting into it, that's bringing it to life.
Mhm.
The people that you're going to, it's all of it. It's not just like the script. It's not just the people. It's all of it is bringing it to life.
Yeah, the fact that you can condense down such important moments in history into little radio plays that people can enjoy and the people in the community can get involved with is just brilliant. So thank you guys.
So I think from now on, we're just going to go CBS. We did it better.
A lot of that going around. A lot of that going around. CBS, we can do it better.
Hold our beer.
And when I started this, it was because one, I love history. Okay. I tell people outside of the short attention span theater, I'm a very boring person. I run a history blog. I listen to old time radio. It was my love of history, my love of old time radio, and that very radio show that I mentioned earlier. I'm like, Robert came to me and goes, you want to do a history channel? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Which I was shocked that he agreed to, because I had been on short attention span theater maybe 4 times. And I'd wanted to do a history channel, but I wanted to do it with someone else that I could, play off of. And I was sitting there, and we had done. I'd been on Short Attention Span Theater a couple of times, and we seemed to play off each other pretty well. And I was like, well, okay, I'll ask Richard. He probably will say no.
That was also the very week that I mentioned that I do a lot of history stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I had started having this thought about a month before I approached Richard. And I was like, okay, well, I want to have a history channel, but I don't quite know where I want to, how it's going to work. And Richard and I got talking, and we started talking about history and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? This could work. Because the problem with history is, or doing history with other people, is there are some people who you sit there and you're like, okay, if I do history with this person, I'm going to kill them. Because I'm sorry, but there are just some people that are really, really, they've read something somewhere that is absolute bullshit, but they've decided that it's what they're going to believe. And you just sit there and go, no.
Well, the other part of that conversation went kind of like this. You want to do a history channel? I went, okay. By the way, we're going to release a video next Friday. Where what?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the a-hole that makes him do more work. Basically.
You know, he's like,
worst words Richard ever hears is, "Hey Richard, I got an idea." It usually involves I've got to go for a smoke.
But
I was thinking, that's another bad one.
And that's usually followed by the response, well, who let you do that?
Yeah.
You guys joke, but you clearly have a great relationship and you bounce off each other so well.
Yeah, I go through life with a very simple mentality. If I'm not making fun of you, I don't like you.
Yeah. I've lived by the same motto. Even my kids know that.
But and it is a lot of, you know, he'll go, I have this idea. I'm like, okay, no problem. Let's see if we can make it work. He goes, I need you to do this on this particular day. I'm like, okay. We'll see what we can do. Or in the early days, hey, Richard, how about we record after Loki on this particular day? Oh, the day after I just unloaded a 1,800 piece truck. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Thursdays for a while there were pretty rough. Yeah.
He'd hit me up on Monday. What are we going to record this week? Let's do it tomorrow. Okay. Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, I go
Wednesday.
on Star Trek Discovery.
Wednesday. We need to record on Wednesday. Okay, no problem. Richard, are you there?
Yeah.
And then I get this message. By the way, this show is due on Friday. Maybe we should record it tomorrow. What a novel idea.
What a novel idea. So I'd go on with Loki, and then right after that, I'd be in another StreamYards recording Stalin or whatever.
Right. And
swearing for an hour.
Another behind the scenes for you folks. The reason that we've gone away from actually doing what we're doing here on our radio show is because somebody, and I won't mention Robert by name, is he hates cut takes.
Yeah, I hate jump takes.
So to do it right, the show is 10 minutes long. There is an hour and a half of footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've just
I hate the jump take. It drives me nuts. So,
but I wanted to hear opinions and your experiences, and thank you personally for joining us in this little venture. And a future thank you for Samantha Joe, because you know, I didn't know you would be here today.
I didn't know I was going to be either. It was just kind of a last
Neither
minute
did
deal,
I.
so no worries.
Yeah. Purple's like, well, can Samantha Joe join us? I'm like, yes.
No,
of course. Sure.
And here's how it went on my end. We're in StreamYards in this stream, you know,
Yeah.
like we always do. And he goes, hey, you mind if Samantha Joe joins us? I'm like, no, but when did this happen? Now. I'm like,
Yeah, pretty much.
you know, this is how this works. We're gonna do something. Maybe. Click. Done.
Yeah, it's usually me because I'm an asshole.
You've got all the power buttons on your end, so I'm like, I'm in the back seat listening to the radio, going. Dee, 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 dee. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, Connect. Why are we going 110? Because it says we can only go 100. At least that was my motto on the highway.
It's the way that this has come down. This was one of those projects we didn't want to do. Well, I had recommended it, or I had said something about it. I didn't even recommend it. I just said, maybe we can do this down the road. And Robert said, yeah, we'll do that. We'll look at it in a couple of months. And 2 weeks later, he goes, you know, I got this idea. How about we go with what you wanted to do? I'm like, okay.
And when are we doing that? A week from now.
Yeah. And when we decided to do that, the first thing we did was we reached out to Jeff Franklin,
Yep.
Captain Trek, because I knew I needed. And Jeff Franklin jumped on it, and I'm like, okay.
Yep. And then we, the next person we rang up was Loki. We need credits done, sir.
and you know, he controls all of the casting. I will be honest here. I'm one of those. I don't know many people on YouTube. I know of you, Purple Valkyrie. I know of you, Samantha Joe. I know of you, Loki. But most of the time, if you haven't noticed, I tend to stay in the back going. I haven't reached out to, you know, any of you. I've reached out to you, Stone, to Loki directly, but not many other people. And it's like,
That's why you got the big mouth, the rambling Canuck, right?
Yeah.
Because that's my job.
so I give him a script, and he goes, and he runs through the parts and what he needs, you know, who he needs to play, and then he sends me back a message. He goes, well, this is who I got to play this part. Or this is this is how this went with Valkyrie, Purple. How about Purple? I'm like, okay, if you can get her, then that sounds good. And then the next message I get is, oh, by the way, Purple's doing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Normally I can't watch your show because, well, sleep seems to get in the way of.
Yeah. That's what happens when you work the graveyard shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've subscribed to the channel. I know you when your show comes on. You know.
Thank you.
Usually sawing logs.
You know. But you know, I haven't had it. What I know of the two of you is from what I've seen on Loki's show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same thing works backwards when it comes to my normal show, because my show goes on at 1 a.m. on the East Coast. And, well, normal people are asleep. Hence the reason Canuck and I are always on there. But it's the fact that Robert is pulling some of these people that I've heard of. I've watched some of your stuff. I don't get to watch as much as I want, but when I hear the names that he's coming up with, I'm going, oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
I am humbled and honored to have you guys help me with this. So
We are too, and that you've kind of pulled the talent from the community. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
now I just have to
it's more us that say thank you, but
yeah. Now I just have to write a really good script for the Queens.
yeah,
No pressure there.
Yeah, should we get the blooper reel ready for how many times we go? Fuck, fuck.
But
Half of what I edit out of a script.
you know what? I'm just going to write a script of F bombs. We already have it written. I already have it recorded. So, but it's one of those things where I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I gave you something to work with. I know Loki, he's got a full plate going on right now, and yet he's managed to find time to get his stuff done. And well, Robert's hair's not gray yet.
No. My kids tried, and now you're taking up the mantle.
I'm already there. Look.
Oh yeah, if I let this grow out, it's white as Santa. But yeah.
Thank you all.
Yes.
You're
But-
very welcome. Thank you for including us. Thank you.
Yeah, it was an honor. Thank you.
Well, we'll have more.
Oh yes, definitely. And with that, I'm going to bring this to an end here. I want to thank the Valkyries for joining us, especially Samantha Joe on such short notice, like 5
Oh,
minutes.
that's cool.
Um,
Thank you for having me.
She had more notice than I did.
Well, yeah. You don't need to know. You're just a writer. See, you watch TV these days. Writers don't have to know nothing.
This is the only time they ever see my face because all they see is, wow, this is paper.
And thank you, Loki, for joining us. And
Always.
thank you, everyone in chat. I know we didn't get a lot to the chat today, but just wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun. We don't get to on this channel very often to just sit around bullshit and have some fun. Because normally we're talking about serious stuff that actually happened and all that fun stuff. But I want to point out a couple of things. Loki's channel is in the description. So is Purple Valkyrie and Samantha Joe's Rise and Shine. Chris Knight's channel is in the description. If you are not subscribed, which you probably already are, and if not, the hell's wrong with you? Go and subscribe to them. Also, I'm going to point out Richard's store is in the description. And Richard has some really cool stuff, including the History with R&R mug.
And a t-shirt.
And the t-shirt. And Locutus, if you like cats. I mean,
Yeah.
a cat dressed as a Borg. Come on.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really cute, actually.
That is
I might
adorable.
grab one.
Yeah. So I would draw your attention to that because Richard is trying to get that store hopping. So I would ask everybody, to share it out or whatnot, because eventually he wants to be able to be doing good at that so that he can give back. He wants to not just make money on the store for himself, but I believe the percentage was 25% of anything made on Doom Store will be put into a fund that will go to when a YouTuber or somebody within the community needs help. That's what that fund will go for.
Damn straight.
So
and I'm not afraid to admit it, that the plan was to donate 25% of the proceeds from the store to the fund to help YouTubers, and I've helped quite a few. The percentage is currently at 380.
Yeah. So please do, even just share out the link to the store. Would be greatly appreciated. And there's my PayPal in there, but pay more attention to the store. And with that, I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank everybody on the panel. And till next time, have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Later,
До свидания.
This has been a presentation of history with Anna.